Last time on CDP Plays, Eris disappeared. Now we have to go to the Temple of the Ancients. Not the Temple of the Ancients, the City of the Ancients. But before we can do that, we have to go to Bone Town, where there's a jet plane for some reason on top of a big dragon skull. It seems like some rad shit happened in this world that we are not privy to. But before we can get to the City of the Ancients, we have to get the Lunar Harp. To do that, we have to excavate this area.
Jeez, and then there's just like a fucking fighter jet.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Fighter
up.
jet, all these big bones.
Oh, that's so cool.
So this area, in Disc 3, you can come here, you can get the key to Sector 7, or Sector 6, which lets you get back into Midgar. You can find a weapon for Barrett, a weapon for Vincent, and that's about it. And as a kid, I was like, this place seems pretty useless, really. I think you have a chance to find elixirs whenever you dig, but it's very small, so there's no point in trying for it. What I didn't realize is that this area actually allows you to collect any of the summon materia you may have missed.
Wow.
Because all the summon materia you come across throughout the game, they exist in that one spot, right? You go to the Chocobo farm, if you talk to the Chocobos, they give you the Chocobo materia, but that's your only chance, because after you leave that area, those Chocobos disappear. I think Shiva is the only one that that gets forced into your inventory, but again, that little girl might be able to die. I don't know.
So then, okay, so I don't remember doing this.
Yeah.
Or spending much time doing this.
Oh, so I'll explain what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
You put these archaeologists in specific spots. Then you set off a bomb, and after the bomb goes off, they each face the item, and so you're trying to triangulate exactly where they're looking.
That's cool.
Now the item doesn't spawn in a completely random location; it spawns in one of like 7 preset locations. And so if you have a map of what those locations are, if you're finding a little bit of difficulty pinpointing the area, you can look at that map, and from that you can judge. But yeah, all the summon materia we found so far, except for Odin and Shiva, were optional one-time things that would have disappeared after we left the area. And so, if you get to the end of the game and you're missing the summon materia, you can come here, Kiata. You can come here and excavate for them, and it can give you Ramu and not Leviathan, because that's a quest-based one, but all the summon materia you may have missed. But again, I've never made my way to Disc 3 and not had them, so I had no idea that was its function.
Go get him, Clud.
This area is what makes me want a prequel to Final Fantasy VII set when Genova landed, because I want to know a lot more about the Ancients. They have this weird seashell motif for their buildings and all of that. I want to know what they were doing in this city. I just want to explore that civilization.
I want to see some of the other villages and towns before they were fucking destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how old they'd have to write it in such a way where it's like, yeah, this village existed then, but it was just much different. But I just want to see this world.
Well, Genova landed 2,000 years before the events of this game. So it's long enough in the past. This dumb fish is in the way. This dumb fucking
clownfish. Probably.
This Nemo fish. That's what I was looking for.
Nemo motherfucker.
Yeah. Genova landed 2,000 years prior to the events of this game, so that's long enough for them to just completely change what's on the surface of the world without changing the actual geometry of the world.
How many years prior did all the Ancients get wiped out? Was that around the 2000 mark too?
It was Genova's landing, which fucked up the planet.
Okay.
Like, she's the calamity from the sky, which caused a huge wound, which caused a lot of the Ancients to sacrifice themselves to try and restore the planet. So that apparently took a huge chunk out of the population, but Genova came with that, and she started walking among them, spreading a disease, which transformed them into monsters, which dealt kind of a death blow to the rest of them. So they've just been struggling along until now, when it's just Eris.
How many screen names do you think are Calamity from the Sky?
A bunch. A whole bunch.
Calamity from the Sky, X99/Sephiroth. Cloud.
XX Sephiroth XX 420.
Here's my Final Fantasy original character. He looks a little bit like Cloud and Sephiroth.
And he's best friends with Barrett.
Go figure.
And Tifa kind of wants him.
But he's too cool, you know. He plays it cool around her. Mostly because he wouldn't know what to do with her if he did, you know, ever get his hands on her. But, you know, plays it cool. I got Cloud was up at night and Barrett's like, what are you doing? Do I need to knock you out right now? Is this happening? Is this happening right now? I told you I would be watching you.
Well, one blow to the back of the head will do it.
I've been practicing. He pulls out this like dummy Cloud that's just been had the shit beat out of it.
You can just barely tell that's supposed to be Cloud because of the hair. Like, ooh.
X's over the eyes and it's...
Didn't start with X's over the eyes, I'll tell you that much.
I put him there. Eris is here. She's by that fish. I know it.
I think she's under the fish.
Ooh, tummy. Yeah, this is real cool looking.
This is real cool looking, isn't it? And Calamity from the Sky would be the best title for that prequel.
Yeah.
Just don't call it like Final Fantasy VII Calamity from the Sky. Just call it that. And then the people in the know who remember are like, wait, what? And then you don't do the thing where they drop, you know, obvious winks and nudges to the property throughout. So it's like, oh yeah, remember this guy's going to end up being that guy later on or something. It's like, just let them slowly figure out what's going on. Slowly find these connections to, you know, the future. Unfortunately, I don't do anything like that.
And a name like Calamity from the Sky would never get through because they're like, it's too long. People don't want to say that.
Yeah, not in the States at least. In Japan, they have those names all the time, but then stateside, we like for our titles to be succinct, to put it lightly.
Like a 2-syllable word.
Yeah, vanquish.
It would be, what would they call it?
Even Final Fantasy is stretching it.
Yeah.
Like, they only get away with that because they've had that since the 80s. These days, it'd be like... the fantasy battle. You can't have the word battle 10 times.
They would have called Final Fantasy VII something like Meteor Strike.
Yeah, they would. Cloud, please stop.
What are you doing, Cloud?
This moment is weird because you press the action button and he moves the sword from the down position to this ready position, but you can press the directional buttons like you want to break him out of it and try to move him away, but when you do, he can only move so far, which unfortunately allows you to do that really lewd motion.
The last thing she sees you do before she dies is just hip thrusting her face.
If you pay attention to this cutscene, you'll notice some inconsistencies between cuts. Sephiroth specifically will go from not wearing gloves here, not wearing gloves there, nor there, wearing gloves.
Oh, you know, it's like...
But here's the thing. Pretentious assholes like to look at small editing inconsistencies between continuity and go like, oh, this is so bad and poorly made, because they're not paying attention to the actual emotional impact of the moment. Like continuity is important, but if you're so invested in what's going on that you don't notice the incongruity, it doesn't matter, you prats. I like the idea that it's kind of like a film that they did what they could. You know, they only had the actor on set for a couple hours that day. And they weren't gonna look at this set. They couldn't reshoot. No, you had to collect. You had to work with the footage you collected on that day. It frustrates me because the criticism I hear around this game isn't of substance. It's not about the game. It's not about the narrative or anything like that. It's not about the stuff that actually sticks with people. It's, oh, the localization's so bad. Like, yeah, it has its problems, but consider how much text is in here. It's not awful. And then, like, oh, then this moment when Sephiroth's falling, like, sometimes he has gloves and sometimes he doesn't. Shut up. Shut up. It's an emotional moment. Shut up and pay attention to the emotion. You ass. You pretender. You fucking... I bet you're subscribed to Cinema Sins.
Oh!
That's my... Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Like, you can take a Cinema Sins approach to this, or you can make an Honest Trailers approach to this. Unfortunately, it's a lot easier to do a Cinema Sins approach, where it's just... Everything wrong with Final Fantasy VII in 13 minutes. Your video is 14 minutes.
Shut up, though.
Shut up. Listen to the music. You... God damn it. So now we gotta fight Genova Life.
Which is crazy, because someone just died.
Oh! Oh, no, no! I just got it. Oh, well, Bahamut will save the day.
Bahamut's like, I'm so fucking pissed. How dare you kill that?
I'm so pissed. Wow. I keep seeing how many views Cinema Sins videos get. Fuck! Fuck! Reflect. I'm not gonna cast magic on you.
Now he's gonna beat you to death.
Yeah. So right before you come up here, you can find a blue ring which absorbs water, and at this point you also have a piece of armor which I think nullifies water. So if you equip those on two different characters, 2/3 of your party are literally immune because all she does is cast water magic. That's all Genova Life does, is water-based abilities. So you just completely negate that one aspect of the fight. Again, it's not the most difficult battle.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to give you a real hard battle right after
right
what
here,
happened.
no, yeah. An emotional moment loses its impact if you're forced to rewatch it numerous times in a row, growing increasingly angry because you can't seem to beat this boss.
Can't skip the cutscene.
Fucking Lady Unaleska. I'm going to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind right before we get to Xanarkand in Final Fantasy X, because we are not going to suffer that problem. Satellite beam!
Who's controlling the satellite?
Don't worry about that. In this instance, I think it'd be more useful to use Ungarmax, but I don't know how many attacks you actually get with Ungarmax. I think Satellite Beam is better for whole parties because it targets each of them individually, whereas Ungarmax, like I said, the damage is divided between a bunch of enemies. So for single targets, Ungarmax, whatever the fuck that means, is better. But I want to show off Satellite Beam.
I imagine a wizard's bracelet is all like hemp and jade.
Genova.
And...
That voice in Cloud's head is given a name that one time.
Ooh.
That's the only time it specifically says that it's Genova.
I wonder why they chose to do that.
Because it has impact.
Yeah.
And possibly because Genova has actually wrenched control of Cloud away from him at this point, and he's finally understanding who it is that he's been hearing this whole time.
I would love to know more about Genova. Just
to
understand like how
she's kind of the like Sephiroth's the villain of this game, but she's the impetus for all of it. Obviously, she came to the planet, destroyed all this stuff, and then her influence. I feel like she has an influence over Sephiroth himself. Because he was injected with her cells in the womb, so he's never not had her presence. She's always been there inside of him, giving him that strength, possibly talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, most people have voices in their head, it turns out. It's just most of the time they don't urge us to do crazy things, so we don't have a problem with them, and we don't find it weird or noteworthy. But, did Sephiroth just have her voice in his head the whole time, and for him it was just, a natural thing? This is another moment where people are like, oh, why does the water get so deep all of a sudden? Why is her hair? Her hair came untied, now it's tied again, and now it's gonna come untied again? Worst game ever, 5 out of 10.
Where did Cloud's sword go? How come it... Wait, what? I don't...
Just accept the emotion of the moment, man. For fuck's sake.
Wouldn't not her body float?
Would you care to rephrase that question?
Wouldn't it not be incorrect if perhaps her body were to float.
Don't you love that when someone tries to make themselves sound smarter than they are by just using obnoxious words that don't fit into the sentence?
Henceforth, ergo, vis-a-vis.
I watched the end of The Matrix 2 50 times in theater.
You want to hear me do the monologue? I can do it. No, please. I'm going to do it. Ah, fuck.
And now I'm going to do the V for Vendetta one.
Oh, no.
I forget most of it, but I remember the end where he says, "Verily, this vicious verbiage veers most verbose." I got that one down. I got that down. I'm V for Vendetta.
I'm the V for Vendetta.
Do you want to buy some Guy Fawkes masks with me?
I like how Reaper is just enough, like a mix between like Punisher and the Guy Fawkes mask, like somewhere.
Oh yeah, you're right. I had the feeling someone has their reference images, their folder that they pulled up when they're designing Reaper, and it's just like Punisher skull, Guy Fawkes mask.
It's just like one of those crazy person's collage.
Oh, Cloud's like shaking his fist, and it's like growing big and small because they couldn't animate it, but they could shrink and expand it.
Because I'm real pissed off now.
Yeah. Save me from doing something terrible. But if you're alone, you won't be able to do anything terrible to anybody.
Don't do that to me right now, Barrett.
Don't insult me with logic. But
so now you give a shit, Cloud.